How you guys doing? This is important too. You know, I am the child of my biological parents. I'm the son of Doris Duke and a little Walt Disney World. Many things of importance. Antelope, Biltmore, and Hearst Castle, and Antelope castles in England and France and Italy, and low castles in America in reference to real historic royal castles of family history of, the Gilded Age or whichever, Lots of things of importance, not fake government castles that were made by government people or any shit, But lots of things of importance. I grew up at my mother and father's mansions. I grew up with my parents. There's reports, this situation is just so stupid. I'm trying to get home to my mother and father's mansions, which I got kidnapped from my mother and father's mansions. Anybody denying that? I didn't choose the name Mark Ray either, and neither did my mother or father. When these people kidnapped me, they called me Mark Ray, and they've held me hostage under that name all these years, while somebody else was trying to use my biological name, and they tried to sneak their family into my mother and father's companies and properties and mansions, trying to claim that they thought they were relatives of mine. When they tried to call me the fake, and they were using a fake to try to steal my real identity, is what they were doing. This has taken way too long. People need to get thrown out of their positions in government. People need to get thrown out of law enforcement. People need to get thrown out of the courts. This has taken too long. I'm supposed to be at my mother and father's mansions, or at a new mansion close to my mother and father's mansions, somewhere. In many cities and states, I'm supposed to be at my mother and father's mansions in Beverly Hills. That's where I got kidnapped from the last time, around 93. Right? You have that on record, Beverly Hills Police Department and other police stations? This is very serious. People are wasting my time like they're trying to plot more schemes and scams with their fucking impersonators. My DNA is one of a kind in the whole world. My mother and father's DNA was one of a kind in the whole world. I'm 100% the only child of my mother and father. These other people that tried to steal my DNA or they tried to steal sperm, they're not related to my parents. They won't ever be. I'm the last of the 100% bloodline. My mother and father was like distant cousins. You guys know that, right? So many things of importance in reference to certain history acknowledgments. But in reference to the history of this situation, this is taking too long. I haven't even received any compensation from anywhere. The people that's been stealing the postal mail have been stealing the postal mail for over 26 plus years. And the government can't seem to figure out who their own people are that are doing that? Isn't there an internal affairs in the government? This is taking way too long. People are wasting time. I'm supposed to be at my mother and father's mansions. Why hasn't the news network set up an itinerary to travel with me from here, this little house, to my mother and father's mansions? Why don't you do that, news network? Why don't CNN do it, or one of the sports networks, or any of the networks, such as CBS, ABC, NBC, or one of the other, media companies? Get a news crew, send me a letter, put a letter in the mailbox. Everything's got to be on YouTube, too. It'll be on YouTube and be on a news network or Dateline, or why don't they do that? Roll protocols on those TV shows, too. 24 hours a day. Roll protocols in the media. They couldn't even deliver the driver's license that my mother had delivered to the courts during the time that they had held me hostage and called me Mark Ray all these years. Even back in the 80s, Obviously, nothing's getting done. And hello, National Guard, that satellite man's still hitting me in the face and teeth and inside the mouth with their satellite. It's attempted murder. It's piercing the skin. And it's leaving marks on the skin. They're trying to put their shit markings on other people's lives. Trying to put somebody on their shit list. You think you own America to think you could put people that are richer and come from richer families and more history of business in America than you? You thought you'd try to get into government to try to steal people's identities and clout and status and wealth and history? You can show up in court, government, and hello, John Paul Getty Museum. That satellite man's still hitting me in the teeth. What you doing that for, you fucking terrorist? What you doing that for, man? Don't you have an answer for your stupid actions? Don't you have a explanation? Your fatal attraction crimes can get you the death penalty, government man. Your fantasies of trying to steal who I am, your fantasies of trying to steal my family wealth, can cost you your life. I'm the rightful owner. You're not. Nobody else is ever going to be. I am the only child of my parents. Does the courts have records? The situation? I mean, if anybody's got records of anything, throw it on the table in the courtroom. Royal protocol in the media is a documentation that I'm the owner of my parents' estates forever, no matter what anybody fucking says at any time ever, no matter what documents they got, no matter who they are, where they came from, or what they ever fucking said. I'm not your race, I'm not your child. It's protected by bloodlines. 100% royal bloodline. And it's protected by other laws, too. Never signed, never gave, never sold, never. Anybody conspiring with these other people in their forgeries or their misrepresentation of documentation or information, those people can go to prison for life.